Herzlich willkommen hier bei Moshpit Passion auf YouTube. Neben mir die liebe Alissa. Wir reden über ihr neuestes Projekt und mehr nach dem Intro. Also bleibt dran, es lohnt sich.
Passion, you know, for the passion of the music.
So Alissa, thank you very much for having me. I heard it's a little bit spontaneous here at Rock am Ring. If I get it right, a bird told me there's a special tonight with Ice Nine Kills. Maybe you want to say something about that.
Yeah, that's right. So I didn't tell anyone. It's a surprise, but now the word is out because I played with Ice Nine Kills yesterday at Rock am Park. And of course, today we're at Rock am Ring, and I am doing a couple songs with Ice Nine Kills, so hence here we are.
Interesting. And we are mainly here to talk about your new project, Blue Medusa, and I really would like to know, how does it feel to now create something completely your own with Black Medusa? What was the decisive moment when you thought, now is the time for my own project?
Yeah, I think in life in general, there's not always that aha moment. You know, there's not always that like, oh, now's the time, this is it. I think in general we think that that's going to happen. It's like, now's the time for me to, you know, get married or buy a house or buy a car or have a kid, but it doesn't usually happen that way. I feel like usually it's just something that kind of naturally evolves. And so it was kind of the same with Blue Medusa. I, started working with Alissa and Danny, the guitarists, and we started writing music together. And I was like, in my opinion, this is the best music I've ever made in my career. Like, I know music is subjective, but for me, I love this music the most out of anything I've ever done. And so, we released 2 singles, Checkmate and Flying Monkey. And a lot of people are digging it, so we just want to go full force with Blue Medusa, and that is what we're doing. Yeah.
And for instance, your new band is often described as the next evolution of everything you've built so far. And which elements from your past are you taking with you, and what are you consciously leaving behind?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that I'm like consciously bringing forward or leaving behind, because I'm just doing music that I like. But I mean, there was definitely like a conscious decision to select the musicians that I have. And I think a big part of that is that I've always liked guitar-driven music. So like music that like focuses on excellent craftsmanship and musicianship in all instruments, but especially in the melodic instruments, so guitars and vocals. And so when I met Danny and Alissa, we realized that we have like very similar tastes and views when it comes to writing and music. And so that just worked really, really well. So I feel like Blue Medusa, it creates a canvas where I can do clean singing, do screams, do really brutal screams, black metal screams, whispers, weird stuff that maybe I've never done before, but it just feels right at that moment. And then it also gives a canvas for like excellent riff writing, excellent guitar solos, amazing drum playing, really interesting bass lines. Like, it's just a nice place for people to express themselves on their respective instruments.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we talk a little bit about your band name, not the color blue, which is quite obviously, I would say. Yeah. I want to talk about the Medusa part.
Yeah.
Is there a personal or mythological meaning behind it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the lore behind the character Medusa, there's like obviously a ton of folklore behind that character, and I think I relate to it. And she's a very interesting character because she, went from being this like beautiful, innocent woman, and then was sort of corrupted by things that were done to her, by others harming her, and as a result turned into this monster that now had powers to turn men to stone. Okay. And I think that it's interesting to kind of like look at that character where her injuries maybe became her power, and so maybe, everyone in general can find some sort of solace in knowing that sometimes when you receive injuries and when you are harmed, that can actually be your power. And I also I like the sound of it, I like the imagery attached to it, I think it works really well. Medusa is known for her snake hair, I'm known for this hair, so,
Sure, yeah.
So it just worked.
Yeah, definitely. And I see also a lot of topics which you can see in the music videos, for instance. When it comes to the band name, you are, let me say, it's not just a concept and sticking to the band name, it's like different layers, which I really, really like to have like some kind of red line, which is the music part and the visual part, and we will talk a little bit about that actually later. You mentioned earlier the two new singles, Checkmate and Flying Monkey, and they sound extremely heavy and intense. How difficult was it to find this new energy, both lyrically and musically? Which song feels the most personal to you so far?
I mean, lyrically and musically, I'm full of energy right now. I have so much that I want to say and talk about, and I have so many ideas that I want to express. So I needed to have Blue Medusa happen to be able to get all of this out. And Checkmate and Flying Monkey are both super personal to me, both very cathartic. Flying Monkey just came out a few weeks ago, so I think right now that one is like more stuck in my head. But both of them are very, very personal lyrics. But I always write lyrics in a sort of blanket of abstraction, so that because I'm not writing, you know, a news report, and I'm not writing a diary. I'm writing a song, and I want everyone to be able to hear that song and relate it to themselves in some way, so that it means something to them. And in that sense, there's no right or wrong. Anything that makes that song work for someone is exactly what I want. I want people to enjoy the music and feel it, and if it helps them, even better. So yeah, it means something to me, and it might mean something else to someone else, and that's perfect.
What was, let me say, a crazy description of a fan that you heard of one of the songs where you're like, wow, that's crazy, I never thought that somebody would think in this kind of way, or something positive where you said, wow, that's crazy that you gone through this and that songs, for instance, helped you or something like that. Was there some kind of story?
I mean, I talk to my fans a lot. Like I talk to them on my Patreon page and also in meet and greets. And so I've definitely heard like lots of stories where people came and were like, oh, this song helped me through this or through that, which is awesome to hear. Because that's also like one of the most important things about music, I think, is how it helps people. I don't know if I can single out one particular one. I mean, there's people who have like lyrics that I've written tattooed on them.
Crazy,
you know, and so that's also why I'm very careful when I write lyrics, because I want to make sure that they really mean something. And yeah, I don't know. There's people that have had very serious situations, like they've been like battling illness or dealing with the grief of losing someone, or you know, going through a really hard time, or like, you know, I've had like people in war zones that are telling me that the music is helping them. And so I don't know if I can single out one in particular that I remember off the top of my head, but I love knowing that there's a connection there.
And when it comes to the songwriting for an upcoming, I don't know, record, EP, or new music in general, how heavy will Blue Medusa go? Are you planning more melodic, death, power metal elements? For instance, you are also playing with Dragon Force, and they have a different direction, and you did also in the past something different, or even the Deceiver record was something, I don't want to say completely, but there are different elements from what you did in the past. Do we have some kind of direction where you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Blue Medusa and what you hear so far in Checkmate and Flying Monkey is exactly where I want to go. I think it's heavier than things I've done in the past, because if you listen to the actual chords and note choices in the songs, they're very dark, they're very intense, and I don't see, like, there's different elements to songs, right? There's like, what is the guitar doing? What are the drums doing? What are the vocals doing? And I like when all of that sort of comes together in a cohesive way and creates something heavy and dark. And, you know, it's not just that if there's like screaming, then it's heavy, and if they're singing, then it's not heavy. That's not true, because there's plenty of like situations where you're screaming on something and it's just not heavy because it's major chords and it's slow or something like that. Or you can be like with Dragon Force, it's clean singing, but it's so fast that it feels really heavy to perform it. And it comes across as heavy live because it's so fast. So even if I'm singing clean in Dragon Force, it still feels really heavy. And then when I scream in Dragon Force, it's even heavier. So Dragon Force is a completely separate thing. I don't think there's really any crossover musically. Like Blue Medusa does not contain really any elements that Dragon Force has, other than maybe blast beats. Otherwise, it's really different musically. So, yeah, I think Blue Medusa, it's like a main focus on death metal, black metal, but with some almost like musical theater elements involved, and you know, also just like straight up rock and roll, maybe some jazz, blues. My guitarists are trained in jazz as well, so, and this is all stuff that I like too.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I saw once an interview with you, I think it was with Sergio from Deftones, the ex-bass player in a restaurant many years ago, and you were talking about, I think it was about veganism, something like that, and you also know that you are vegan and activist for a very long time, and how are you incorporating these values into the new band, if you do this visually or lyrically or behind the scenes?
I mean, I feel like when it comes to writing lyrics and stuff, of course, because I'm writing them, there's always going to be an element of ethics, you know, and I'm never going to be like I said, there's always an abstract layer to it. When it comes to the music itself, I don't know that there's, I mean, like band is one thing and me as an animal rights activist is another thing. So there's not really like a super, like I'm not Earth Crisis, you know, like I mean, I would love to be, but that's not exactly what we're doing here. So I think it's just, you know, like for example, in Flying Monkey, there was no CGI, nothing. It was all done for real. And of course, like all the makeup we used was cruelty-free and vegan, and like the fake blood we used was cruelty-free and vegan, and actually gluten-free because we had someone on set who had celiacs. You know, so we don't use any animal, like in the props and the costumes. There's no leather, fur, suede, wool, nothing like that.
Crazy.
So of course, like when I'm doing something, it's all going to be cruelty-free and vegan. But when it comes to like the actual topics I'm writing about, it could be inspired by that, but probably more in an abstract way.
Okay, definitely good to know that. And also the small details when it comes to, like I said, clothing, etc. That's something that a lot of people have got not in their mind because they're focusing just on food, for example. And what I want to know, after the move from your past band and now leaving, what have you learned about yourself, the metal scene, and dealing with expectations over the past years?
I think I've learned that I'm very resilient, and that it's very important to trust your instinct when it comes to situations and people, because if you smother that instinct, you may end up regretting it. I feel like all of us have this sort of intuition to know when something is safe or not, and sometimes we don't listen to it because we're just like, well, I have to do this, I have to do that, be professional. But I think it's important to listen to that. I also think that most musicians have this thing in their head, and I do too, that whatever you need to do for the music is what you have to do. If it means not eating, not having a family, not finishing your education, like you gotta do it, you gotta get in the van, like, and I was like that for so long, and I still am to a certain point, but I really think it's important that there's a balance and that people realize that, you know, other things are important too, like your family is important, your health is important, your life is important. You are a human being, you're not just a product put out on, you know, a machine to make music, you're a human. And, you know, time with your family is something you can't get back later. Like there will always be more tours, but time with your family is not something that you can get back. So, you know, I missed all my grandparents' funerals, I, you know, missed all my friends' weddings, like, I missed a lot. I missed the birth of my, you know, nieces, nephews. Like, I just missed all of that because I was always gone, and you can't get it back. So I think it's important to remember that even though music is our lives and it's so important, you have to respect yourself on a human level also.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my last question would be, you mentioned live touring, for instance. Do you have some kind of concept or idea in your mind when it comes to the songs which you would like to perform live? Would it be just new music or also something from the past? Because I'm asking, I'm a huge fan of the Deceivers record, and obviously there are some elements in that record which you can hear on your new project, for instance. And would it be something like that that you say, hey, I'm also playing stuff from my past bands, or it's like it's a new chapter, I just want to focus on new music?
Yeah, I mean, I could play, like, I've written a lot of songs over the years and written vocals on a lot of songs, and I definitely could play those, but like I said, I love Blue Medusa's music so much that I kind of just want to play that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I've also done so many collaborations that I actually never got to play live, and so I'm like, oh, maybe this could be an opportunity to actually just play those because they never got played live. So we're actually in the process of putting together what the set list will look like, and we want to keep it interesting and fun, but also heavily focused on Blue Medusa, of course.
Sounds great. And Alissa, thank you very much for your time for the interview. I wish you all the best for the new project. Und für die Zuschauer da draußen, schaut mal unten in die Beschreibung nach. Ich habe alles von Blue Medusa unten verlinkt. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Haut rein. Bye, bye.
Passion, for the passion of the music.